Hi, Larry Kruger with another session of Ask the Expert. Today I'm going to share with you an observation as to what is happening in the moving business and how millennials are causing mayhem in our industry. And first of all, right up front, this is not a slam against millennials. It's not an old guy yelling to get off my lawn. Fantastic group. It's just a reality of what's happening in the industry. Now, to begin with, the moving industry came about after the roads became more prevalent in the country. After the war and the Second World War, people were on the move. And the moving industry was designed for what was referred to as a nuclear family. You know, a husband, wife, a couple kids, maybe 3 kids, a dog. 8,000 pounds or more, basically an army home, a 3-bedroom home plus. Small moves have always been a challenge in the industry. And it's designed, the trucks where we're going is designed around a nuclear family. Now, back in the day, in the 50s, the average age to get married back then for a guy was actually 23 years old. When they were coming into the workforce, most of them, a lot of them, already had a family. Today, through no fault of their own, just pursuing education and, trying to find a job rather than a gig, which I have a whole opinion on how corporations kind of utilize that to avoid a number of services. At any rate, today the average person is getting married in their 30s. They're basically going into new jobs or in that lower management scale, basically living like students. They're just out of university. They may have gigged around for a little bit. They may be back with their parents because financially they can't get out. Home prices have escalated to a point where they can't get into the market, and they're dealing with a gig economy and yada, yada, yada. The fact of the matter is that there are more people moving with less stuff. So that's throwing a little bit of a monkey wrench into our industry. So what you're seeing now is a lot of these container services that are appearing. You're getting kind of referred to it as crating and freighting the goods. So we go out locally. I talked about this in the Blackout series thing, but we go in with local crews, pick the goods up, put them into containers, possibly put them into containers at the residence, and then ship them via an alternative method of shipping, and then offload them on the other end. So this kind of throws a whole disruptive wave into our industry. Now that punch is basically followed by the fact that our drivers are leaving. We talk about that all the time, our long distance folks. So we're having to revert to an alternative means of shipping goods based on a demographic, based on 2 demographics. Retiring people, the average age of a driver now is 55, so that demographic is getting out of our industry. Well-educated millennials don't want to do this manual job, and the millennials themselves are kind of not leaving the nest, but they're starting at a later point in their lives. So you can have lower level, mid-level new hires with very little stuff, opposed to a nuclear family where about that age, when they're getting their footing into a career, basically had 8,000 pounds. So we're in this cycle right now, and we're having the trials and tribulations that go along with it. The van lines, if you think about it, the service is reverting to a domestic international service. On an international move, you pay for origin services, packing, wrapping, stuffing the container. You pay for the transportation of that container, and you pay for the unloading and setting up and removing of demurrage kind of services on destination side. That's starting to hit our industry on a domestic level. So we're doing a pickup, We're doing an alternative means of transportation. It's not a ship. It happens to be a freight truck, and then it's being delivered with another crew. So the van lines themselves are looking at retooling their organizations. They're coming out with more freight services, snap moves, things of that nature, to position themselves in that area. Because when you think about it, it's a very precarious place for the van lines right now, because it's basically a local move, shipped via alternative shipping, and a local move. Now, going forward, you will probably see even more disruptive services coming into our industry. I know of an organization, a blockchain managed container that basically is autonomous, that basically ships itself. Tells you when it's full, tells you when it's empty, interchangeable. So there's all kinds of things coming into place based on this millennial kind of wave that's happening. Now, you're still in, 5 years, 10 years, time takes care of everything. And, people are going to have 8,000 pounds again, and you're always going to have executive moves who don't want 15 containers moving their stuff. They want a single truck with a single crew. So we're kind of we're in a stage right now where we're jockeying around to find that right mix, but it's due to demographics. People leaving the industry because they're too old, and the new people raised on technology that have smaller shipments, want things done faster, want clean communication online, which is turning into a whole sub-move section. So, observation, we got to work our way through it. Hug a mover. If you want to chat, if anybody wants or has any concerns, this is just turning into a kind of a talk show. But if you have any concerns about the industry, give me a call or send me a text. It's on my LinkedIn. Perfectly upfront and straight with you. Hope this is of some interest, kind of give you an idea. We talk a lot about things that are disruptive. This is one of them. And this is real. If you're managing moves, you got to be aware of what's going on in this industry. Point two, just because the things are shipped alternatively doesn't mean they're massively less expensive. The fact of the matter is we're just developing services to service the people, to get the people out of the house. I was speaking to someone automatically was, so we're going to get a cheaper price with these containers. You're going to get the job done with these containers. It's going to be a quicker transit time with these containers, and there's going to be communication options that your people want with these containers. You're going to save on temporary housing possibly, but don't look for massive discounts on this end of our business. Anyway, hopefully that was of interest. Give me a call, get in touch, hug a mover, have a great day. Goodbye.